Nityanandam. We're coming to the end of 2018, and one of the spiritual practices which I always like to do at the end of the year is to take stock, look back, how much I've grown spiritually. So this video is going to be my sharing of some of the greatest highlights of my healing experiences, the happening which took place in my life when I offer healing. Especially after I've attended an extraordinary program last December called Mahasadashivoham, which was conducted by a living avatar, His Divine Holiness Paramsa Sri Nityananda. In the program, he initiated many of us into the shaktis of healing and some of the extraordinary shaktis which can help in the area of healings. So when I came back in early January, the very first case which I worked on was a lady who was suffering from stage 4 lung cancer. She was from Vietnam, and in fact, before I landed in Singapore, she had already contacted her best friend who lives here, and arrangement has been made for her to fly in to Singapore to see me. She spent about 10 days with me, going through various healing programs, ranging from yoga, kriya, basically completion of her root patterns and completion of the pain and guilt that she was carrying, and also completion with her lack of self-love. So various programs that I took her through to do a lot of completion. See, you must understand that cancer is nothing but a creation by a disturbed mental setup. A mental setup which is fundamentally life negative, abusing life and the body, which caused a mutation of the healthy cell into a cancer cell. So, in fact, before we begin the program, she had actually gone to consult local doctors in a famous local hospital to have a thorough scan. And so it was confirmed that she had a cancer reading of 6.5. And that's where she began the healing program with me. By September, she did the last test. The cancer has reduced from 6.5 to 3.43. In fact, the doctors was pleasantly surprised at the rapid healing, and in fact asked her what she did. She just mentioned a lot of yoga and meditation and all that. Fundamentally, what I did with her was, besides giving her the signs of healing through yoga, I also manifested a few shaktis, which is through the third eye healing, and also abilities to shrink, to manipulate the cancer cell, reduce the cancer cell through the third eye power. So that helped fundamentally in the healing process. And you should know that I've observed when the person who's receiving the healing is open, receptive to the healing with deep trust, not only just through the process, deep trust in the process, also deep trust in the energy which is radiating through this body, which is nothing but the energy of the avatar, Swamiji. That helped to expedite the healing, creating the healing miracles. So I must say that for her case, the doctors was able to reduce her cancer medication by half. So she was so much happier when I last saw her. So much self-love and so much joy, and also honoring of herself, taking care of herself, which was something that was missing in her life. This case gave me tremendous confidence that cancer can be healed. So that was the first case. The second case happened to my ex-colleague. A few months back, she had a fall when she was cycling. She was based in Finland, and what happened was in the fall, she tried to break the impact by her right elbow. And needless to say, it caused a tremendous misdirection of the force and created a fracture. So when she contacted me that evening, I was not able to reach out to her immediately because I was in a yoga class. And eventually we met through the video conference that evening. I was able to do a body scanning to see a hairline crack in her right elbow. And also the ligament at the wrist joint was totally messed up because of the fall, the impact of the fall. And 2 days later, when she received her x-ray result, she confirmed the hairline crack. And I had already done the first healing that evening. Immediately I did a body scan. So, and 1 week later, surprisingly, the orthopedic doctor was able to detect a rapid healing, which is happening at her elbow joint. And 2 weeks later, surprisingly, she was off the sling. She was wearing a sling for 2 weeks, and after that, on the second week, she was off the sling. And after that, I gave her yoga therapy to basically mobilize, retrain, rehabilitate the muscles and ligaments of her elbow and the wrist joint. And within 3 weeks, she was completely healed. So, in fact, when I shared the x-ray films of this case to another medical doctor, he said that this is actually medical miracles, because for a fracture like this nature, it could easily take 3 months to heal. But in this case, the healing happened within 1 week, complete healing happened within 3 weeks. So it was really, really a healing miracles which happened. And you should know what really helped in the healing process was a tremendous trust she had in me and also in Swamiji, which is the energy is flowing through this body. So the healing happened in a very rapid way because of her deep trust, and which created so much receptivity to allow the energy to work on her. So that was the second miraculous healing experience which I had. The third one was another fascinating incident. It happens to one of my students. She was pregnant with her third pregnancy, the baby. And by the time she was about 5 months pregnant, the gynae had detected a cyst which was growing at the back of the neck of the baby. And needless to say, as a mother, she was really, really traumatized and worried about the health of the baby. So she came to me, and I did a scan and basically gave her, certain process to complete with the violence, and a lot of completion also happened, and also allow her to bring a lot of silence and peace within her. And interestingly, when the baby was born, the cyst was totally gone, and she did not have to send the baby for operation. So that was another fascinating healing miracles which happened just by completion, and also the right healing, and that it itself removed the cyst completely. So that was the third incident which really gave me a lot of confidence in this science of Vedic healing. And just 2 nights ago, I was invited by another student of mine to give healing to her elderly uncle who suffered from stroke 6 months ago. But because of the impact of the stroke, which damaged the brain, certain parts of the brain, it has caused him to not able to eat because the muscles, which was responsible for swallowing, has stopped functioning. So imagine for a man who is so attached to rich food, to the taste, that was like a hell for him. It was like a direct setback, and needless to say, he fell into depression and anger and all that frustration. In fact, he was almost giving up on himself, on life. And when I met him, I did a body scan and I told him what exactly happened in his case. And this man was fairly surprised because he had never revealed anything to me, and the scan revealed so much. And he basically concurred to whatever I shared with him. And I did the healing on the brain, and the healing is still going on for the next few weeks. It will be interesting to see how the healing energy will be able to reactivate the damaged part of the brain to allow him to once again eat, because he was not able to eat. He was actually fed through a food tube. He can only have liquid diet. And for this man, it was a tremendous suffering for him, because not able to taste food and had to be fed through a food tube, and a total removal of the sense pleasure of taste was really a big suffering for him. So it's been fascinating to see before I left, that man's face brightened up so much because of the hope and possibility which I shared with him. And I can see that he was so much more receptive to the healing energy than before I first came. So, being a healer, an ordained healer by Paramsa Sri Nityananda, an avatar, is one of the greatest gifts, because you're not only giving people healing, helping them to recover, but also helping them to complete with their incompletion with life, and fundamentally bring them back to the space of completion and possibility. To me, that is the most beautiful gift that anyone can give to the humanity. And I'm deeply grateful to my guru who initiated me into this science. All I can say that the continuous expansion and the shaktis that he is going to shower to humanity is going to bring a quantum jump in the field of healing and science and medical field. So I'm really hopeful and also excited about this possibility that humanity is going to experience in the science of healing. With that, I'd like to conclude this video. Please share your comments, your thoughts at the bottom of this video. I'll be more than delighted to reply. All I can say that these are some of the greatest highlights for this year for me, and I look forward to more and more happening, more and more exciting happening in the field of healing. Nityanandam.